the computer. So, okay, so here we are. So, Hannah, I just wanted to bring you on today to be able to talk a little bit about this experience you had last week, because
Yeah.
I think other people could relate possibly. And so, why don't you go ahead and share what kind of unexpectedly happened at a doctor visit related
Well,
to stutter?
so last mm, Monday, I went to a natural path because I've been having some stomach it, it issues, and, and as I was t- talking to her, she became really interested in my uh, 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 udder, and she was trying to make this connection between the between my uh stomach issues and my stutter. Um, and she told me that she thought that my stomach problems were causing my uh, 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 udder, and she believed that if she could cure the issues that I have going on with my stomach, that my stutter would also get cured. Um, and she told me that she also thought that my uh, 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 udder could have also been caused by mold exposure, which I don't think I have any of that. And it was weird because I told her that I started uttering around 7 or 8 years old, and these problems only started about like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So like that didn't really add up. Um, and then she also asked me if I have a family history of stuttering, and my br- br- brother, he used to have a uh, stutter when he was like 6 or 7. My parents told me, but then he grew out of it, and so the naturopath told me that the toxin that um is causing the stutter in my uh, uh, stomach. My brother must have also had that toxin when he was younger, but he um, pooped it out. And that's why he doesn't have a stutter anymore. And I never pooped out that t- t- toxin, which is why I still have a uh, uh, udder. And then she kind of got into um how she thinks I need to fix my uh udder because it's really holding me back. And then she brought up Bruce Willis and how he has so much money, and like why doesn't he just go and get his udder it it fixed. And so like her main point was that if my udder gets it fixed, I'll have a much better life, and it'll just be a lot easier. And yeah, and that kind of uh, 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 sums up that appointment.
Oh my goodness. So, wow, right? Like that's when you first shared this with me, I was like, wow. Um, yes, and so this is a naturopathic doctor who's really in an authority position as you're going in, and How maybe share a little bit about how you like what was going through your mind as you're there for stomach digestive stuff, and now all of a sudden, like you're not there to talk about stuttering, and now stuttering is being so highlighted, and kind of how did you respond to that part of it?
Well, so I was really surprised. I had like no idea any of that would be brought up, and I just kind of like listened. I didn't really say too much. I tried to like change the object like back to my like main concern a couple of times, but she just kept going back to my stutter. And so I like waited it out. And that was kind of it. I'm not going back there, but I was just really surprised that she brought it up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're not going back.
No.
um, and yeah, tell me why you were surprised, because there's like so much misinformation in there, which can be really concerning, right? That another professional in an unrelated field would kind of act as the expert in stuttering and and actually claimed like you would be cured, right? When the stomach issues were fixed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I was just like really surprised because like I had like told you Domini about like my stomach issues in the past, and I fit it figured if like there was some kind of like cure, like you like would have like told me about it. And so it was just really hard to take her like seriously after that, and it was just I think I was just so like shocked, like 'cause I don't know, like it was just it just seemed so like out there, like just
Mm.
I don't even know. Like it just seemed like almost like not like too good to be true, but
Mm.
it just seemed so like I don't know, just crazy.
Mhm. Yeah. Is there anything, sometimes when you're not expecting something, you can just feel shocked and not know what to say back. And, part of the brain starts to feel like a stress response, and that part of the brain can take over the amygdala, and you can lose the ability to use your prefrontal cortex and like think logically and be able to come up with stuff to say back. And so not just in a situation regarding stuttering, but lots of situations people feel like, oh man, I wish I would have said this or I could have said that. Do you have any pieces that like after being able to process and think through some of this, like, I wish I could have said, if there's one thing I could have said, I wish it was this, or, I know there's definitely making a statement, not going back. And I don't know if there's anything else you want to share about anything else that happened, like regarding with that doctor, or anything else you would have added if like you could go back and do a redo, would you, or did that feel good? You also shared something with me too about, it was awesome, you self-disclosed that you stutter,
Right. Yeah.
and you also open stuttered, and
Right.
we're working on that, and you've been working on spreading that out and more situations. So we'll talk about some of the victories that happened in this situation too, but maybe share about what happened with that also.
Right.
Stuff that you
So
wish, but also like, yeah, you actually stuck to your guns there. What did you do?
So I'm like really happy I advertised in the get it inning, and then even though she was like talking about my stuff uh 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 utter, and she obviously wasn't okay with it, I opened stuff uh utter throughout the whole session. So I was like really happy that I did that. Um, I think like if I could go back, I like would have like told her, um, or I think that she um really wanted me to try to fit it ix my stuff uh 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 utter, because like she thought it was it was like causing me a lot of difficulty, um and that like I was like missing out on it things, and that like it 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 was just holding me back, and it used to, but it doesn't really anymore. So I think I would have wanted to tell her that like it's really not holding me the 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 back, and it's not as like hard as you fit it it think it is, and like that the only the difference between me and another person who doesn't uh, uh, utters that I just need a couple more seconds, and that's it. It's like I can still do everything. Um, and that's it. And I don't think she was really getting that. So I think I would tell her that.
Yeah. Uh, yes, I love that. I think this is a really good example of social stigma that is out there about stuttering that you can run into just randomly without expecting it in your everyday life. And, um, the in speech therapy, these are the things we work on too, right? So some people think speech therapy, oh, we're just going to work on like physically what's going on with speech, but it's about living your life and dealing with situations like this and how do you respond to that. And these provide opportunities to role play or to talk about it openly. I wanted to record with you because it's helpful for other people to be able to prepare if something does come up, and also the good that can come out of it. So let's talk about that too. You already talked about some, like you've been open stuttering um, for the last couple years and really making big shifts and changes in your life and spreading it out into more situations, and to like hold tight onto that in a situation when you're confronted with, I mean, you're getting the message, your stuttering's not okay. And I think at one point you said to me, it felt like a big slap in the face.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why don't you share about that? Because you said, didn't you say like subtly in the
Yeah.
past? Go ahead. Yeah.
So I've had other speech therapists who have wanted to fix my uh, 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 utter, um, and they've kind of um implied that they, or that I like needed to, in order to be successful or happy, and they've told that to my parents, but like they never just bluntly stated that I needed to fit it fix it. Um, this was like the first time anyone has ever said that to me without sugar coating like anything. So it was new. Like this idea has been like reinforced in the past, but like it was just really out there. And it was like hard to hear it like that. And I also haven't heard um um I haven't heard anyone subtly say that in years. So it was just really hard and unexpected, and that I did Dia's like what I've been trying to get away from. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, you've done so much work to like overcome and change applying social stigma or beliefs that society and other people have about stuttering to yourself, like self stigmatizing and changing your whole belief system about stuttering and speech. And so to come up so blatantly against it like that, it provided an opportunity though, right? And so, what good has come out of this?
so this was d- d- definitely one of the hardest experiences that I've had with uh, 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 uttering. And now I know that like most other experiences that I have, they won't be as hard as this. Um, and I can handle it. So yeah.
Yes. Right? And like if this came up maybe a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago, would it
I
have been
think
a lot different? Yeah.
Yeah, I think in this session, I may not have opened uh, uttered the whole time or at all. I may not have um, advertised. I think I would have done a bunch of avoidances. Um, and yeah, so I think that's what who 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 would have happened. I also think it would have taken me longer to recover. Um,
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, because it was pretty, it threw you a bit initially, which is
right,
normal. Yeah.
right,
And then to process that, and then yeah, I remember you saying like, I'm actually doing pretty okay. Like 2 days later,
right,
you're like, I'm actually fine with this. Like, okay, like this is what I learned, this is what I did, this is yeah, yeah. Um, this is super helpful, and I think um is there anything else? Just opportunity for you to like share anything else you want to about this that maybe I haven't asked you or brought up?
Mhm. Um, I don't know. I think that this like sh shows just kind of how uneducated people are about uh 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 buttering, and it's important for me and other people who stutter to educate people. The 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 because you n n never know when you're gonna run into um someone who does sh 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 she could have another patient who stutters, and I don't think her next patient who stutters will have the same experience as me, because my mom called up after and did give her an earful. But yeah, I think that.
And I think that's a great point you brought up too, is that we can sometimes advocate for ourselves on certain issues and at certain points in our life, but to have a support group, friends, family around us to advocate when maybe in a situation we were not able to go to the degree that we wanted to. Your mom being able to make that call and firmly educate her, I guess, in some, I don't know what she schooled her in, but I wouldn't want to cross your mom. So, but to have some follow up there too, that that really wasn't okay and get some information. Of course, I'm always like, pass out my number, give them my info. I would love to educate other professionals. Some are open to it, some are not. A
Right,
lot of people are and want to learn more. Most people are. This doesn't happen that often, right? This is the first time you've met anything like this. And
right,
I think maybe to just throw in there too, because who knows who might watch this video, but that stuttering, this is not the cause of stuttering. It's a
right,
lot more complex than that. This was like a theory she came up with. And we know that stuttering is neurophysiological. And so what's coming from the brain, it's related to the brain sending messages down to all the different speech muscles. There's some type of mistiming of messages or almost like glitch in the system, and things get over tight. There's a loss of control in that moment. And so you can hear that as repetitions or prolongations or sometimes blocks. Some of that's a little debatable on resisting a moment of true stuttering. Um, and the treatment of stuttering is complex too. Each person is an individual. You know, Hannah, you went through a lot of like fluency shaping strategy work for many years that ended you up in a place of like not even talking much and
right,
not helping and building the shame and the I need to be fixed and I just won't talk if I can't talk without stuttering. And to get you've been on a path of freedom of releasing different avoidances and choosing to speak and learning self-advocacy. Yet other clients on my caseload are working on very different things. And so that's important too, to not dogmatically approach stuttering. This is my professional opinion speaking now, but knowing that you want to meet each client where they're at. And even somebody like me who really believes deep in my heart, stuttering is okay. It makes you unique. It's a different way of speaking. I respect, each person who stutters, and some clients will say to me, I want to learn a fluency strategy. I've never learned any way to physically manage. I want to try that out. It's out there. And um, that's something that I'll uh, provide for them too as I plant seeds of other things as well, but also just meeting them and where they're at on their goals. And the clients change over time as well. We might want to throw out there too that you're actually studying speech language pathology now in
right,
graduate school, and who knows what route you go. You might not even treat people who stutter. You've got other interests that you're exploring as well in this very wide field. Stuttering is such a tiny part of it. Um, so yes, it's amazing to have kind of walked on this journey with you and to continue to. And I learned from you and all my clients' experiences as well. And I feel like this was a good one for us all to kind of learn together.
right.
We brought the topic up in our group too, which was really helpful to hear
Mhm.
what other people learned. And yeah, so thank you so much for sharing in this format.
Yeah, for
It
sure.
can really help other people who stutter out there, but also people who don't, to see like this stuff. It didn't used to happen long ago. It happens on a daily basis to people who stutter all over, this country and of course the world. That there's all kinds of different things going on out there. So um, being able to advocate for yourself and to uh, the only person that's going to make stuttering okay for you is you. It starts with you and changing that, and then you can begin to impact others. So thank
Yeah,
you, Hannah.
for sure.
Okay, I will stop our recording.